In today's episode, entitled Selection from Zoroastrianism's Sacred Menog-i Khrad, chapters 14 through 26, part 1 of 2, we present to you the ancient wisdom in the Zoroastrian scriptures. Zoroaster was a prophet who lived in ancient Iran around 1800 BC. The teachings that emerged from his visions of God have become known as Zoroastrianism. Zoroastrian theology's main tenets include the existence of one God and the personal happiness or reward that is the natural outcome of using one's free will to formulate good thoughts, good words, and good deeds. Respecting all life, Zoroaster was himself a pure vegetarian and forbade all animal sacrifice. His universal philosophy is believed to have influenced Greek thought and major revealed religions of the world. Today, we invite you to listen to excerpts of chapters 14 through 26 from Menog-i Khrad, the Spirit of Wisdom, one of the sacred texts of Zoroastrianism. Menog-i Khrad, the Spirit of Wisdom. The sage asked the Spirit of Wisdom thus, which protection is the more defensive? Which friend and which supporter of fame are good? Which helper of enjoyment is good? Which wealth is the pleasanter? And which is the supremest pleasure of all pleasures? The Spirit of Wisdom answered thus, the sacred being is the more defensive protection. A virtuous brother is a good friend. A child who is virtuous and an upholder of religion is a good supporter of fame. A virtuous wife who is well disposed is a good helper of enjoyment. That wealth is better and pleasanter which is collected by honesty, and one consumes and maintains with duties and good works. And the pleasures which are superior to all pleasures are health of body, freedom from fear, good repute, and righteousness. The sage asked the Spirit of Wisdom thus, is poverty good or opulence? The Spirit of Wisdom answered thus, poverty, which is through honesty, is better than opulence, which is from the treasure of others. For it is stated thus, as to him who is the poorest and most secluded person, whenever he keeps his thoughts, words, and deeds honest and in duty to the sacred beings, for him even there is lawfully a share of all the duties and good works which mankind shall do in the world. As to him too, who is opulent, who is a man of much wealth, when the wealth is not produced by honesty, though he takes trouble in duties and good works and righteous gifts, his good work is then not his own, because the good work is his from whom the wealth is abstracted. And as to that much wealth which is collected by proper exertion, and one consumes and maintains with duties and good works and pleasures, even that is no better thereby, because it is necessary to consider that as perfect. But as to him who is a man of much wealth, whose wealth is collected by proper exertion, and he consumes and maintains it with good duties and good works and pleasure, he is great and good and more perfect. And regarding even that which is sovereignty, they state thus, what is good government in a village is better than what is bad government in a realm, because the Creator, Ormazd, produced good government for effecting the protection of the creatures, and Ahriman, the wicked, has produced bad government as the adversary of good government. Good government is that which maintains and directs a province flourishing, the poor untroubled, and the law and custom true, and sets aside improper laws and customs. It well maintains water and fire by law, and keeps in progress the ceremonial of the sacred beings, duties, and good works. It causes friendliness and pleading for the poor, and delivers up itself, and even that which is its own life, for the sake of the good religion of the Mazda worshippers. And if there be anyone who desists from the way of the sacred beings, then it orders someone to effect his restoration thereto. It also makes him a prisoner, and brings him back to the way of the sacred beings. It allots out of the wealth that is his, the share of the sacred beings and the worthy, of good works and the poor, and delivers up the body for the sake of the soul. A good king, who is of that kind, is called equal to the angels and archangels. Bad government is that which destroys the true and proper law and custom, and brings oppression, plunder, and injudiciousness into practice. It dissipates the treasure of the spiritual existence, and considers duty and good works a vexation through greediness. It keeps back a person performing good works from doing good works, and he thereby becomes a doer of harm. Its disbursement, too, of every kind is for its own self. The administration of the treasure of the worldly existence, the celebrity and exaltation of the vile, the destruction and neglect of the good, and the annihilation of the poor. A bad king, who is of that kind, is called equal to the demons. The sage asked the spirit of wisdom thus, "Of the food which men eat, and the clothing which men put on, which are the more valuable and good?" The spirit of wisdom answered thus, "Of grains, wheat is called great and good, because it is the chief of grains, and even by the Avesta, its name is then specified in the chieftainship of grains. And of fruit, the date and grape are called great and good. When bread has not come, it is necessary to consecrate the sacred cake by means of fruit. When the fruit to consecrate is the date or grape, it is allowable to eat every fruit. And when those have not come, it is necessary to eat that fruit which is consecrated." Regarding wine, it is evident that it is possible for good and bad temper to come to manifestation through wine. The goodness of a man is manifested in anger, the wisdom of a man in irregular desire. And he who is a bad-tempered man, when he drinks wine, thinks and considers himself more than ordinary. He carries on a quarrel with companions, displays insolence, makes ridicule and mockery, and acts arrogantly to a good person. He distresses his own wife and child, slave and servant, and dissipates the joy of the good, carries off peace, and brings in discord. It has been a joy to have you with us for today's episode. Selection from Zoroastrianism's sacred Menog-i Khrad, chapters 14 through 26, part 1 of 2, on words of wisdom.